So the AeroGarden Sprout is, as far as I know, the smallest of the AeroGardens that are out there, but it doesn't mean there's not a lot you can grow in it. So I just wanted to go through some of the many things that you can grow in an AeroGarden Sprout. If you're new around here, then hi, I'm Kiri, I'm a micro homesteader, and on this channel we talk about all things micro homesteading, from growing indoors hydroponically to growing outdoors in the garden, and other ways you can become more self-sufficient and less reliant on the grocery store. And if you've been around here for more than a hot minute, then you know I love to grow stuff hydroponically. And some of these systems can get pretty expensive. The cheapest one is the AeroGarden Sprout, but it is also the smallest. So it has 3 spaces where you can grow, and I would not recommend growing in 3. As you can see in the center, I have a cover on because I usually try and grow in only 2 of the holes. Now, that also depends on what you're growing. You could probably grow in all 3 if you're growing something that was very small, but my general rule of thumb is not to use all of the holes, because otherwise things get too overcrowded and then you just end up with a whole bunch of other issues. Even in those 2 holes, there's still quite a bit you can grow. And if you don't have a lot of space and you still want to have a unit like the Sprout, then herbs are a great way to get a good return on your investment, because they're pretty damn expensive to get at the grocery store. So let's take a look at some of the ones you could grow. One suggestion would be the Thai sweet basil. I absolutely love that. Now, basil is going to get tall, and at a max height, this says 9.5 inches of grow height. So it is definitely going to require pruning on your part, but it doesn't mean that you can't grow it. You just need to be more attentive with it. Another basil you could grow is the Genovese basil. And same thing, you're going to need to really prune it. But another option is this one, the Emily basil, which is a type of Genovese, but it doesn't get as tall. Next, there is the dwarf lemon cilantro. Same thing, you could grow regular cilantro as well, but they can get tall, so you need to stay on top of them. Or you can opt for a dwarf variety, which is going to require a little less maintenance on your part. There is also stevia. If you want to cut down on the sugars, this could be another good option. Thyme. Thyme is a great option because it's going to stay really low, so you don't have to worry about pruning it. I also grabbed this orange yellow thyme. I haven't tried it yet. I'm growing it for the first time this year, but I'm guessing it has an orangey flavor, which I think would be pretty nice. Parsley, another great option. And a lot of other herbs as well. You could grow some sage in here. Though sage can get quite big. It depends on how much you're going to prune it. You could also do some marjoram or chives. There's a lot of options when it comes to herbs. If you want to grow lettuce, I like this one, the little gem lettuce. There's another one from Baker Creek that is the Tom Thumb lettuce, which are just going to stay small. You could go and grow a regular lettuce too, but again, you're just going to have to really be on top of the pruning. Some people like to do the haircut method where you kind of cut off the top third of the lettuce. Personally, I prefer to just pull off the outer leaves. Either way, you're going to have to stay on top of it because of that max grow height. One that you may not have thought you could do is peas. Now these are the Tom Thumb peas. I just grew them in another video of growing dwarf plants, any of which, except for the kale, would work in the Sprout. I'll put a link up to that video above. So really the main point about this video is it's about choosing the right varieties for the system you have. So you don't have to just grow herbs in the Sprout. You just need to make sure you're choosing dwarf varieties for everything else so that it doesn't turn into a complete nightmare. Tomatoes. I know the AeroGarden has a bunch of tomatoes, but I find those ones still get pretty tall. The ones I would prefer to grow are the orange hat tomatoes from Baker Creek. There's also red ones that are called the micro hat, I believe, and they have a new one apparently coming out at the end of this year called, I think it's the cherry berry. So those ones I'm definitely going to try out. And all of these top out at about 9 inches. And I have grown the orange hat quite a bit. And I have had 30 tomatoes off of these tiny plants. So they still produce quite a bit, even for their small height. Another fun one could be some strawberries. Now, these are alpine strawberries. They're the ones that I typically tend to grow. The berries are going to be a lot smaller, but the nice thing is they grow out of a central point, and they don't send off runners. So it's another option that you could try out, or you could try a regular strawberry as well. You're just going to have the runners to take care of, but you can always pot those up and move them somewhere else. If you want to try growing some root vegetables, you can. I've tested it out for the first time. I've had some mixed results, but I have seen people that have grown root vegetables successfully in an AeroGarden. You have to remember you're giving up the spot to only grow one thing, whereas if you were growing a tomato, you could get multiple tomatoes, but it's up to you, and you can definitely give it a try if you want. So an idea would be some radishes. These are the Japanese wasabi radish from Baker Creek, or you could try something like a beetroot. These are the Badger Flame Beets from Row 7 Seeds. These ones are supposed to taste less earthy, and I do not really like beetroots, but I want to like beetroots, so that's why I'm giving these ones a try. Just a short video. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of some other things that you can grow in your sprout, and don't be scared to push the boundaries. I'm going to try and grow some other crazy things that would not typically be grown in here, and we'll see how that goes. If you have some other things that you've grown in the sprout, please go ahead and share it in the comments so everybody can learn from each other. If you're looking for some other ideas of seeds, not specifically for the sprout, but just other fun things to grow, you can check out my video over here of the 80+ seed haul that I got from Baker Creek. And if you're new to gardening, whether it be hydroponic or outdoors, and are looking for some tips, up here you can check out my video on the 10 things that I wish someone had told me when I first started gardening. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy the little things and go out there and make food grow. Bye, guys.